Folks, welcome to an all-new episode of So Bad It's Good. This is your pal Ryan, and this is your Thursday episode. Doug Buden's texting once. Okay, yeah, welcome to your Thursday episode, folks. This is a Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap for what I think will go down in history. I think we will look back on this week's episode, and I think it's just going to get stronger I can't wait to see this episode grow. It's like a fine wine. Everything to me was firing on all cylinders. You could make arguably a stage play out of this. This could save Broadway. I mean, think about it. It was all pretty much in one location, except for the beginning scene with Whitney and her husband. And then it was all at one location. You had props like Carrot Top. Angie K was busting out like a tub of props. You had dialogue that was just hurtling over each other. You had a psychic who I really truly don't know if this was actually a psychic. I feel like I could be a psychic. All these ladies are so willing to tell their secrets to a psychic, but they'll keep it away from each other. They'll like hold on to their secrets where everybody has to dig in information. The psychic says one thing and everybody's like, oh my God, I am having issues with my husband. You're right. And like crying. It was so good. The sound editing in this, I know this is a geeky comment. The sound editing was so perfect. The way that you would go into the psychic and they would you would hear the tail end of them yelling at the table. There were just all of these little flourishes that I felt just so, I thought it encapsulated early seasons of Real Housewives of New York. If you are a longtime listener of this show, which by the way, we're coming up on 6 years, I think Maritza said. Holy shit, you guys, 6 years of our lives we've spent doing this. And it just keeps getting worse and worse. No, I mean, that's insane. But when I first started the show, I remember specifically, and I've said this many times through the years, is what I loved about early seasons of Real Housewives of New York is that these ladies, the way they argued and talked, they would talk over each other. So you could watch the episode multiple times and you could focus on one character. Like, oh, I'll focus on just Ramona for this fight. And you would get something different out of the scene. And these ladies are all talking over each other. Now, to the untrained viewer, we're all trained here. We've put in the work. We can decipher this pretty quickly. If you were thrown into this, it might be a little confusing. You got to catch up to the pacing of this. But it's so nice to be able to talk about the pacing of a show in a positive way, as opposed to what I've been talking about with Real Housewives of Orange County, which feels like just this mess that needs so much shaping. But here it feels like the shaping is there. You could watch these episodes multiple times, get something different out of each one. In fact, I used to say, Bravo, I'll give you $20 extra a month if you give me the sound files and then I can choose who I want to listen to. Like I could bump Angie K's mic up. I want to hear her audio clear. Or the next one, I want to bump up Lisa Barlow's audio. That's exciting. As an audience member, it just, to me, feels right. Now, I don't know if you guys felt the same way as well. I mean, there's even ridiculous characters. The Soup Man. Oh, my God. It's great when we have a character. We just saw this on Real Housewives of Miami at the reunion with the Haitian mortician. Those kind of things stick in people's memories. A mysterious soup man that Angie K might have been involved with. Yeah, I want to hear about a mysterious soup man. The Soup Man? Holy shit. Amazing. I love it. My imagination goes wild, and that's what good television should do, right? I hope we're in agreement on this because it was just such an exciting episode. I just finished watching it again, and I was laughing even more than I laughed initially. And so I can't wait to just continue to watch this specific episode. It's been a really strong season. And somebody in my Instagram said, well, Lisa Barlow's got to go. You know, maybe in seasons to come, if it's the same thing. But right now, she is a perfect foil. She obviously gets at Angie so intensely. So that provides like some kind of fascination. There's an interesting relationship between Lisa and Meredith. You know, they seem to be bonded together. Lisa and Bronwyn, there's all of these things revolving around Lisa in a sense. Right now, it works for me. I think you need this. Now, yeah, if it gets to a Tamra place, like on OC, where I feel like, oh God, it's the same thing again and again and again. Yeah, we have an issue. But right now, these are the good years, man, in my humble opinion. How are you guys doing today? When it's good when I just spend the first 5 minutes talking about how much I enjoyed something. That is a pleasure. But how are you? Are you good? Okay, I got to make a confession, you guys. Wednesday's episode. I'm going to tell you something. I'm not proud of it. So if you listen to the episode, I was having a pretty good time, but also I was struggling to get through the first 38 minutes of that episode because we had went to a concert I talked about. Um, the thing about that though, so the thing about the concert is, okay, so Rebecca obviously completely sober because of the baby, right? And she knows I've been really stressed out. I was really looking forward to this concert. And she was like, hey, why don't you take an edible, a weed edible, a gummy? And I usually don't do that. I mean, I don't do that. And so I was like, you know what? That actually might be fun because I'm not drinking. I'm trying not to drink at all, to watch my girlish figure. And we had this sponsor on the show, IndaCloud. They're not currently a sponsor, but this was like a month or two ago. And they sent me a big box of stuff. And, you know, I took the melatonin, which was great, and that knocked me out. And so I took one of the edibles with me. And I was like, you know what? You know, I got permission from Rebecca. I'm good. And we get to the concert, and I take it. And you guys, I was in space. I mean, the concert was amazing. I mean, the concert truly was amazing, but I was going through my entire life in my head. Like, I am not great. I always forget, like, I'm not great on any sort of cannabis. It's one of my downfalls, really. I feel I could never have a Happy Ryan, like a Happy Eddie cannabis line. I'm just not good at it and good with it. And I told a story yesterday about a girl coming up to me and going, congratulations. And it turned out she was a listener of the show, but she just said congratulations. But now just picture me. I was in space. So this girl comes up to me and says, congratulations, which would, I think, even if I was not on any sort of edible, I would have been confused by, but I was especially confused. I was like, huh? I was so paranoid. I was like, huh? Congratulations. I was so out of it. And you guys, so then I realized, oh, this thing isn't leaving my system. And we came back and we were having a blast. Turns out Rebecca says I'm way more fun on an edible than I am just my normal self, which is sad, but I'm glad she can be honest with me. And, we were watching Dancing with the Stars and we were having a blast, but I was so out of it. I was just kind of hoping it would wear off because I knew I needed to record a whole opening segment with a bunch of news stories. And you guys, when I tell you 38 minutes of material took me over 2 hours. And I was listening to some of it back, and I think, you know, I don't think you can super tell, but I was tripping up on pretty much every 10th word, and I was so in my head. I wanted to be honest with you about this. I usually am not, I usually don't do that, and it's a reminder to never do that again, especially if I have to do work. But, oh my God, you guys. Oh my God. The good thing is I didn't drink it all, so there's no hangover. I had to go get my physical today, my yearly physical. And it turns out my body is still falling apart. No, my weight is down, blood pressure still high, and I've got a bunch of referrals. I got to get a colonoscopy. We're at like a lot of uncomfortable testing phase. I got to go to a skin doctor for some suspicious looking moles on you don't need to know this information, but I love when you go to the doctor and then you have to go see 3 other doctors to just keep up the maintenance. It's like I'm my Toyota Camry right now, and I've got to make a bunch of appointments for blood work and all of these specialty appointments. It's great. It's great when you're just like, it hurts when I do this. And they're like, yes, you're getting older. And I'm like, oh, perfect. Amazing. Anywho, I wanted to share that with you up top because that I was on the struggle bus last night. So thank you to anyone who listened. And if anybody thought, wow, he sounds a little different, that is why. That is why. Okay, moving on. Let's talk Salt Lake City again. Now, we just had Sarah Hare on from Us Weekly on Tuesday's episode, and she was teasing the Reality Stars of the Year issue. Now, she had told me before we started recording that the Salt Lake City ladies were going to be the cover of this magazine, and it's in print, not just digital, which I got to go find a copy of this in print because this is a collector's edition to me. Oh my God, I got to get a hardcover. If you guys see a hardcover copy of this, pick one up for me. I'll pay you back. I don't know if they'll have them in Los Angeles, but let me go check because I want to take this to BravoCon and get it signed. Just like I used to do at Comic-Con to like comic book artists. I'll nerd out and have all the housewives, maybe not Heather Gay, but all the housewives sign this. And it's great. The cover is beautiful, and it's a parody or inspiration derives from the iconic Vanity Fair cover when the Desperate Housewives, when that TV show was on, they did this iconic cover, and they are recreating that iconic cover. Now, the OGs are on the cover. So you got Lisa Barlow, Heather Gay, Mary Cosby, Meredith Marks, and Whitney. And then when you open it up, I guess, you have like Bronwyn, Angie K, newer additions to the show, but the OGs are on the main cover, and they're all in these kind of swimsuits, except for Mary Cosby. Mary Cosby was like, no, I'll be wearing a dress. And I love that. So Mary Cosby. It's so perfect. I was like, hell yes. So I'll read you a couple of the excerpts from this interview. There was a couple of things that popped out, but go read it for yourselves. Also, I just keep thinking, is there competition between Housewives casts in the sense of, like, Miami to me fired on all cylinders this season, Salt Lake City really topping, I thought, an untoppable season last season, really going strong 5 episodes in. But then I know I keep bringing up OC, but OC to me is faltering this season. I want to be able to support a show, but also still be critical of it. And I do wonder if these housewives get territorial in the sense of like, well, our show's good too. Our show can be good too, but it's really hard because it's reality television. So you go into that gray area that I hate of trying to do things to win the audience's approval or to make something entertaining. And maybe that's what's infected OC already, is that certain people might be trying to do that and play towards what they think the audience responds to. And I don't know, it's just one of those, I guess, just kind of roll the dice and see how it goes. But I do sometimes wonder if OC ladies realize that they didn't deliver this season. And I think I think it's important to mention, because I want the OC ladies to to step up and to like show how good their show can be as well. Okay, some of the highlights in this article, like it said, on a network full of characters, the ladies of SLC are in a class by themselves. And Mary Cosby says, Salt Lake City is kind of just a place, but we put it on the map. Okay, sure. And Lisa Barlow says, we all have very strong personalities and we're all very different. I think we fill voids for each other in different ways. As ugly as things can get, we still at the end of the day remember we're friends and want each other to win. We keep choosing each other even when it's ugly, even when it looks like you can't recover. To a degree, I think Lisa is the one that's kept, like, she's not kept to that same standard as the other ladies are. Like Angie K is in this episode, Mary and Whitney, you have to pretty much shake her to be just like, forget about it. Just let it go, let it go. But I think I understood Angie's frustration of like, nobody really has to say the same things to Lisa. Lisa is just kind of in a world unto herself. But I'm glad that that's the working motto, right? Conflict resolution. Let's see here. There's a section called I'll Be Your Villain, and Meredith Marks says, we're all villains. And Lisa says, there doesn't need to be a villain. I think we're villainous towards each other at certain times based on what we're going through and how we feel like we're being received with our friends. That's when there becomes a villain for the audience. Mary Cosby says, where am I? No, she says, I personally think you need a villain, and I think you need a good one, like Lisa Barlow. She's a good one. Mary, I'm agreeing with Mary so much lately. It's wild. But Lisa says, I'm getting all the titles. I'm a pot stirrer. I'm a villain. And Mary says, if you're going to have one, they need to be good, an excellent villain. And Lisa's like, oh, so I'm an excellent villain? And everybody said yes. And Heather says, the best of the best. Okay, they talked about the Mormon religion a little bit. Let's see. They talked about Lisa's hot mic moment, which Lisa said was her lowest point on the show. I feel like we've yet to discover the lowest point yet for Lisa, but we'll find out. And then this was an interesting one: families that stay together, slay together section. And Bronwyn was saying, my husband and daughter are always very critical of my choice to be on reality TV. It's so hard for Todd to watch me argue with the women and let it go. Sometimes the husbands don't rebound as quickly as we all do. Heather says, my daughters love the show. They're in college now, so it's fun. Yeah, Heather was dying to get those kids out of there. They have viewing parties. They love a little bit of notoriety without a lot of the pressure, and I think it's been fun for all of us. And Whitney says, any talk of Justin and I getting divorced is very sensitive to my kids. Can I share what my daughter said to me, though? I asked her, what do you say to kids at school when they ask you about your mom and dad painting each other on TV and getting physical? And she goes, yeah, that's my mom. Are you jealous? So, I mean, I've raised good kids. Meredith says, I was pretty straightforward that I had some very significant problems in my marriage, and we worked really hard to get to the place we're at. There's been a multitude of times over the years since then where a lot of the women have tried to decimate my marriage, and it's sort of screwed up. Anything concerning my family, my kids, my husband, everybody knows that's a trigger point for me. Angie says, my first season full time, when the other women were starting rumors about my marriage and my business, that's something I had never dealt with. And then the Us Weekly points out in season 4, rumors circulated that Angie's husband, Sean Trujillo, had cheated on her with men. Hey folks, we are here to talk about our friends at Quince once again. If you can see me right now, I'm wearing a beautiful navy sports jacket that I did get from Quince. And don't worry, I am prepping for my BravoCon trip in November. I just purchased a beautiful leather jacket from Quince, but they don't just have clothes. Remember, they have bedding, bath, cookware, travel accessories, the whole 9. So, as the weather cools, you know we're all swapping pieces that actually get the job done, warm, durable, and built to last. And Quince, they deliver every time with wardrobe staples that'll carry you through the season. Now, Quince has all kinds of fall staples you'll actually want to wear on repeat, like your boy Ryan, like 100% Mongolian cashmere from just $60, classic fit denim, and real leather and wool outerwear that looks sharp and holds up. Now, I've got my eye on this suede trucker jacket. It's perfect for layering and just looks really casual, but put together. And you can go to their website and they'll show you all of these things and how they look. Now, how do they do this? They partner directly with ethical factories and top artisans. Quince cuts out the middleman to deliver premium quality at half the cost of similar brands. So, layer up this fall with pieces that feel as good as they look. Go to quince.com/sobad for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. So that is QUINCE.com/sobad. Free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/sobad. Angie says, I have to hand it with Sean. It didn't offend him because we've been friends and family of the LGBTQIA plus community for over 30 years. It's like the low-hanging fruit, and it's the easy target for a hairdresser. For him, he was more offended that people are questioning him being faithful to his wife. I mean, I'm still thinking about the final episode of this past season with the circle jerks. My God. Meredith says that she credits Real Housewives coupled with COVID for saving her marriage. She says, we were in a horrible place when we first started, and it depends on how you embrace this show, but if you do the way I did, which I think is the right way, you really learn a lot about yourself, and there's a lot of self-reflection that goes in. You see how other people perceive the things you do and say, and a lot of times like, wait, I didn't mean it that way, or I misspoke, and it can create a lot of problems. It teaches you how to communicate better, and then of course other people see problems you're going through, and it helps them and makes them feel like they're not alone. To me, those are the most rewarding parts. Watching Meredith and Seth on this show, has it saved your marriage or relationships, you guys? Has it strengthened? Has it strengthened your relationships? Who knows? Anyways, those are just a couple of highlights from this interview, but there are tons of other things if you want to go check that online or buy the hard copy. I am in search of a hard copy of this because I am a weirdo. You know what I was just thinking? Because we've been dealing with the Dr. Wendy mess with the insurance fraud. And then I just remember when Lisa Barlow lost her $60,000 ring at the Palm Springs airport? And there was a whole section of that show where she was like in the bathroom and going down the garbage chutes and stuff. And I think that was very real. I'm not saying that, but I would imagine anything like that will be combed over by government agencies at this point. Like anybody, like if Lisa had insurance policy on that ring, I would imagine that's being looked over a lot more intensely than ever before just because of the Dr. Wendy thing. But I forgot about that. Do you guys remember what happened? Like, was that ring insured? Did she get money back for it? It was never found, right? I'm so curious about that. Lost jewelry. Man. Okay, let's just get into this darn episode already. This is Season 6, episode 5. Now on Peacock, they were doing this thing where they were putting like Watch What Happens Lives directly after the episode, and it was affecting the episode count overall. Now, I noticed they did not do this yet with this one, so maybe they have fixed the problem because Whitney was the guest on Watch What Happens Live last night, and that was really fun with Lucas Gage. So they didn't do that. So hopefully they listened to us because it was screwing up a lot of people. This is episode 5. There are only 5 episodes into this season. This is entitled The Salt Lake City Soup Man. Oh, God, what a perfect, weird title. The description that Peacock gives us says, Whitney treats her friends to a wine tasting with psychic readings. Also, I hope Whitney didn't spend tons of her own money on this stuff. I worry about Whitney because she admitted that the business failings, and on Watch What Happens Live, she said she lost over $500,000 of their own money on her business. So... And I got to tell you, I am loving Whitney this season. She has turned into this weird voice of reason, and that is called range, folks. That is called being able to diversify. And I think overall, like it keeps Whitney in the fold, right? Okay, so we start the episode as we always do with like the snow-capped mountains of Salt Lake City, and we have obviously the choral music. Ha 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 ha. Also, remember, this is a silly recap. We might make bigger points, but we're going to do voices that might anger you, that sound nothing like these women. But I am trying to make myself laugh during these times. So we see shots of Salt Lake City, and we open up at Whitney's house, and her husband's like, what you got going on? And she's like, the other day, I was going through a bunch of old photos when we went to Napa all the time. And one of my favorite things to do with friends and people I love is to share wine and eat good food. And I'm just trying to bring all the peace and beauty back in the world because after Lisa's event, it's just like, and Justin's like, you didn't feel it at Lisa's event. And Whitney's like, no, not at all. And Justin's like, well, you can only do what you can do, right, babe? Right? Yeah, it's either invite them to a winery or invite them to your stripper pole that you've just reinstalled in your house to connect with the old Whitney, right? Which also would have been really amazing to watch Mary Cosby on a stripper pole. Are you kidding me? Also, during this, Whitney is putting together these elaborate flower arrangements. That's when I was like, God, those seem like really expensive flowers. How much money are we putting? Like, I love that I'm now her accountant, where I'm like, oh God, can we budget this out just a little bit? But I always like these kind of forced setups because they already know they're going to a winery. So, the producers are like, okay, can you tell a story about like why you like wineries and why you think it's a good place to like, to bring these ladies? Yes, I used to travel to Napa and it was always special. Maybe I can say that. So it's a little girl's day, basically, Whitney says, celebrating love, laughter. And then Justin's like, and wine. Yeah, and wine. Ha ha ha. So spring's in the air, you guys. And the invite is this little bouquet of flowers. And then we go into batshit crazy land, folks. Whitney in a talking head is forced to sing this Salt Lake City song, which I think will one day be perfect for the musical of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. But this is Whitney singing her original song. And it's like, I come from Salt Lake City, ex-Mormon, wild and free. And though my friends are gorgeous, things are not pretty. Oh, the drama, there's lawsuits, lies, and tears. Insults are quick, who's got gout dick, and who has the best hair. Whitney sings how I sing. Like it was like I was trying to get a discernible tune because I was like, "Oh, is it Don't You Cry for Me?" But then I couldn't. Then it would break off from that tune. But I love that Gout Dick got in there. I think more songs, pop songs especially, should have Gout Dick. Addison Rae, if you're listening, please do a Gout Dick song. And then we see doorbell ringing over at Heather Gay's place, and there's a guy with a bunch of flowers. And it's obviously the invite from Whitney, but I thought it would be great if Heather was like, let's fuck. The kids are gone. I've just turned the upstairs place into a shag room. Oh, behave. But Heather's like, oh my gosh, beautiful, these flowers. And then we cut with all the ladies getting the flowers. Bronwyn walks up to her door and there's a flower arrangement left. And she's like, what is this? Ha ha. And then Angie K opens the door and some guy with the bouquet. And she's like, is this a proposal? And he's like, I'm not sure. And then Angie's like, oh, good. It's not from you. What's wrong with this guy, Angie? And then Heather cut back to her and she's reading the invite. Please join me for a day of love. And then Angie's voiceover goes, wine, sunshine. And Bronwyn says, and good vibes. And then back to Heather, it says, XOXO. I can't read the name. And Bronwyn says, love scribble. Like they're all reading it, and they show Whitney's signature, and it looks schizophrenic. If a signature could be schizophrenic, this would be the one. I have a little bit of the same, like you can tell the R and the B for Bailey, and the rest of it is just, it's up for interpretation, right? And then we go back to Whitney and the Talking Heads singing, throw on your florals, let's have some estate wine. We'll chirp and chill, no tea to spill. Please, God, let us have a good time. It would be great. Like, please, God, don't let ever Jen Shaw come back on the show. Ha, 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 ha. Good for Whitney getting her own song at the top of the show. Okay, so we get the title card coming up, and then we're back into Salt Lake, choral music. Ha, ha, with the little beatbox underneath it. Ah, boo, da, doo, ba, da, ba, da, da, da. And then it says Whitney's telepathic tasting at the La Cala Vineyard. Telepathic because remember there is a psychic that, that's going to be there today with the ladies. So Whitney shows up first. We meet Stephanie from the venue. And she's like, I'm excited for a little girl's lunch. And she is taken out to the wine tasting. It's like a beautiful wood table with wood little seats. You see ducks on the estate lawn. And Whitney's like, Heather's going to love these birds. Heather fucking loves birds like this. It's crazy. She loves little birds and pigeons and stuff. Okay, so now we get the ladies starting to pull up in their cars. Heather Gay gets out first. Whitney's nervous inside. Heather comes in and goes, Whitney, you look like a fairy princess. Oh my God, I love it. Whitney's in this pink little number. Mary Cosby's getting out of her car and we hear her voiceover goes, I don't know why Whitney decided to have an event here. And Mary Cosby's entering the vineyard, the front desk area. And Mary Cosby goes, it's bad juju here. And we're like, Mary, tell me more. Why is this? Wait, you have something against this winery? And Mary lets us know the former owner killed his wife and himself. And Mary's like, yeah. That's why I was like, why are we here again? Yeah. Huh. The producer's like, oh my God. And Mary's just shaking her head with her eyes wide open. Yeah. I love that you get true crime with Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. It scratches the pop culture itch, but also wow, tell me more about the winery murders of Salt Lake City. Could we get the history of Salt, a spin-off series of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City where we dip into the winery, the murder? There was a whole murder? And then Mary continues. Yeah, he did it on Christmas Day in front of their dog. And I think the dog was not normal after, Mary says. Yeah, that could shake up a dog, I think, seeing, owners getting killed and stuff. But Mary knows. I love that Mary participates in the town gossip. Anyways, Mary walks in to see Whitney and Heather and goes, hola. Great, Mary. Yeah, hola. Hola to you, Mary Cosby. And Mary's like, thank you for inviting me. It's beautiful. Didn't tell anything to Whitney about, you picked the murder vineyard. Nice. Brittany gets out of her car. Brittany just excited of this is nice being a housewife. You get chauffeured to places and free wine. We'll get to see the birds squawking. And Brittany's like, what is that? Wow. Whitney asks Mary if she'd like a Prosecco, and Mary's like, sure. I'm like, yeah, let's get Mary liquored up. Brittany comes in, guns blazing, and goes, hello, gardeners. Hello. Yeah, she comes in large and in charge. Angie K is getting out of her place, and she has to get out of her car, and she has to go to the back and get this big tub of stuff. We don't know what this is, but Angie says it's her gift. So whatever is in this tub, we're going to see later, right? So Angie comes out. She's got the big windshield wiper sunglasses on. And then Bronwyn comes. And Bronwyn looks exactly like that actor at the end of that horror movie Midsommar when it's in the complete flower dress. That's what Bronwyn looks like she's wearing right now. It's full midsummer on Bronwyn. And then Meredith comes in, and Meredith is wearing like these flower dress as well, but it's just like monochromatic and it looks like it's denim. So like the flower flourishes on the outfit are made out of denim, it looks like. But Heather's like, oh my gosh, I can't with these crazy bitches and their outfits. Wow. Mary Cosby in a talking head about their outfits is like, what is that? I love that Mary's very fashion forward, and she's like, what is that? What is going on? It looks like a walking virus, Mary says. And then the editors do a troll and do a black and white photo of Meredith Marks in this dress and put like little green viruses all over it. Hell yeah, man. We're only 4 minutes into this episode. We already got a virus joke. Okay, now Lisa Barlow steps out. Lisa Barlow leads with the manila envelope, which I'm like, oh shit, what's in the manila envelope? What's in the box? Lisa to her chauffeur is like, oh my God, I almost made you drop my manila folder. In a talking head, Lisa says, I want to support Whitney. I do, but Angie's been nasty. Yeah, talking about kids, talking about my kid's brand, Fresh Wolf. She tells the chauffeur, keep the car running and close. I got to tell you, I used to work at this acting studio, you guys, and the only other person that I've ever seen leave the car running, and I shit you not, this is 100% true. Puff Daddy used to get acting coach. I think it was like on an episode of CSI, if I remember correctly, or like CSI Miami or something. And he came in for acting coaching, and he had a big SUV, and he had his driver leave it running. And this is like, he was in there, I think like an hour and a half or something. And I had never seen that, you know, because my mom always like, turn the car off, you're wasting gas. And I just remember thinking, well, I guess Diddy has gas money. He's not worried about like, you know, an empty tank. But then now I think about it as like, he was just always ready to run at any given moment. It's just, shout out Puff, if you're listening for prison. Well, we just had breaking news, actually. Bravo breaking news. The McBee dynasty just got picked up for season 3, which we predicted, right? What's interesting about this is that the dad, Stephen McBee Sr., gets sentenced today on Thursday. So we'll do a new story about that on Friday. I definitely am expecting that he will be serving time. So I would imagine cameras are up right now to catch those moments tomorrow. But if you're a fan of the McBee dynasty, you have a whole nother season to look forward to. I got to that show really late in the game, but I really, really enjoyed that show. And from the article that I read by Kate Arthur at Variety says, you know, the viewership was really solid. And there was one statistic that's sorry, my Wi-Fi just went out. How can they know that a viewer is showing it to another viewer at the same time? Are they watching us watch the shows? They probably are. My God. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled madness. Lisa Barlow's getting out of this vehicle and she's like, it's completely fucked up. Like, I'm done taking the high road. When have you taken the high road? You did a whole dismissed party where you were screaming at everybody. Anyways, Whitney's reminding everybody inside of like, there's eats here at the table, you guys. So Lisa walks in and Heather obviously is like, oh my God, you're the person I live up their butt. Amazing. Lisa walks in very intensely, and Meredith is just chewing food slowly because you remember at the end of last week's episode, Angie said that Lisa Barlow collects shit on Meredith Marks, collects information. In a talking head, Meredith says, I haven't seen Lisa since I spoke with Angie. And we flash back to Angie saying, in the past, when you and I were not really in a great place, Lisa was encouraging me to dig up information about family members and relatives of yours. She was telling me there's things out there about bankruptcy and shoplifting. And Meredith gives a jolt head nod, like, what? Bankruptcy and shoplifting? Like, listen, we need to get Meredith out to play because Meredith has been really buttoned up this season. So whatever gets her to you can leave, we need to get her there. But Meredith says, Lisa and I are really in a good space. We worked really hard to get to this space. When people say that, like, we worked really hard to get to this space, what do you mean you worked hard? Were you like lifting things? You know, like, are you doing mental gymnastics? How are you working? But she says, and while it was in the past when we were in a different space, it's still not acceptable. So if she did do it, then that's a really big problem. Yeah, it is. So Whitney's like, does everybody have their drink? Let's do a little toast. And Lisa's like, I love a little toast. Toasty toast. I really appreciate you all coming. The other day I was going through old photos and videos and I just started like reminiscing, like the happy, lighthearted, fun Whitney that I used to be. And it really got me emotional and thinking I haven't been happy. In a talking head, she says, yeah, I used to be really fun, wild, free-spirited, tattoos, drinks, piercings, and that led to Justin losing his job. That's always the pipeline. You have good times with partying and tattooing, and then you lose people their jobs, folks. But she said that hit her at such a deep personal level that she had to change that part of me to conform to who I thought Whitney had to be. And in the end, she said she ended up losing it all anyways. So we're getting back to being the fun, free-spirited, loving, wild, sexy Whitney that I am, she says. That I am. Yeah, let's even throw swinging into the mix. Let's go balls to the wall, man. OnlyFans, let's do the whole 9 yards. So she tells the ladies, I want to go back to what's meaningful to me, and I want to start here at this winery, having wine with my friends, with this gorgeous scenery that we call home. And Brittany's like, oh, Mary's like, that is beautiful, Whitney. So everybody's like, that's sweet. So it's so positive at this moment. Like everybody is together on the same page in this moment. So take a snapshot in your head, because this is like the last we see of that positivity this episode. And then when he goes, there's one more thing, but I'll save it for later. But I was going to save it for later, but I'm going to tell you now. I have a surprise for everyone. I flew in a special guest all the way from New York. Her name is Jen Shah. No, he goes, he is a world-renowned spiritual intuitive. And Bronwyn goes, oh, but not like in a joking way. She goes, oh. His name is Terrence, the spiritual intuitive. And then we flash back to Whitney on a FaceTime with Terrence. Terrence looks like he's out in the woods somewhere. He's like, hi, Terrence. And Terrence is like, Whitney, how are you, sugar booger? I thought it'd be fun to do a little party of my favorite things, and I thought it would be really fun, if you're open to it, to fly out to Utah. And he, before she can even finish, she's like, absolutely, yes. Absolutely, I'll do it. So he's going to give them readings. I just would love this so much more if it was just like a handyman and it's like a big prank on these ladies, because I feel like they'll believe anything. But anyways, they're going to do readings, and Angie K's like, whoa, and Bronwyn's like, whoa, and Meredith kind of like, Meredith has no reaction. Mary Cosby goes, oh, Lord, oh. A lot of people really into the church think this kind of stuff is like devilish, right? But Heather goes, I can't wait. Is he going to read our palms or our feet? Our feet? Brittany seems worried as well. Whitney goes, Heather, he's a psychic. He's a psychic. Heather in a talking head says, I don't have a lot of experience with psychics. So Heather's asking 20 questions. Do we hold his hand, Whitney? Do we hold his hand? And Whitney goes, no. Heather goes, I absolutely believe in people's ability to have these supernatural powers. Bronwyn's like, I am so excited about this. I love a psychic. A spiritual intuitive. A really bohemian life coach. I went to once a woman who read animal tarot cards. Tarot cards? I don't even know. It was in a Gucci store on Worcester Street in New York, and it was all just a ploy to make me buy more Gucci. I still did a reading with her. I will go to anyone. What a great talking head to be like, I am a full rube. You can convince me of anything. But Mary's still looking very concerned. In a talking head, Mary seriously goes, we call them soothsayers. Yeah, that's what our Bible calls them. And Mary keeps just making these faces at the winery. She's like, Mary goes, and sometimes the devil can talk out of them too. And then Mary goes, say, not today, Satan. She says, I'm going to go ahead and pass. Oh, if we only could have gotten Mary to have a meeting with this intuitive. So anyways, they're going to do the tasting first before we get to the spiritual intuitive. Meredith goes, I cannot believe we're having Utah wine. I didn't even know that existed. I didn't know it was a thing. I guess there's like 3 or 4 vineyards in Utah. And Lisa's like, yes, there's one in Park City too. So we meet this lady who is walking us through. Her name's Angela. She's the wine specialist. This is our friend of for this episode. But by the way, where's our friend of? I love the little moments, like they show Lisa Barlow sniffing her wine, because that's what she's probably seen people do in TV and film. You're like, oh my God, I smell the woody oak in this. Amazing. So this first thing is going to be served with like a salmon tartare waffle cone, right? And when he goes, take a bite, it sounds gross, but while you still have food in your mouth, put a little wine in. That's always just a good rule of thumb for any kind of food. If you put a little wine in with anything you eat, even if it's like cereal, that's a good way to start the day. But Lisa tells Bronwyn, we are just going down a culinary path here in Utah. Mary asks a very important question. How's the salmon prepared? Is it tartare? Okay. It's tartare. Okay. And Heather goes, that was a good pairing. It really brought it to life. Did you do it, Mary? And Mary's like, no, I did cheese. I'm not eating raw salmon. I don't do any tartars. Mary Cosby doesn't do any tartars. And Heather goes, it's smoked salmon, Mary. I just tasted it. It's smoked. And Mary goes, no, she told me it was tartare. I could watch a whole hour of Mary just talking about the tartare. Mary then says in a talking head, I feel like the salmon will I'll eat it and then I'll digest it. It'll get in my belly and just start developing a family. I'm spelling spin-off, you guys. Salmon that lives in Mary Cosby's belly that forms a family. That sounds amazing. She goes, little salmon babies, and just camp out and just hang out in my belly and never ever come out. Oh God, I wanted her to do a food show so bad. Anyways, Mary's just talking to herself going, I'll just eat one of these cheeses. Angie says, I want to live on a little wine country myself and properties with peacocks and horses. We've always had a modern house and a little yard. So it would be nice if any of you want to buy my house. Just kidding. And then Brittany goes, is your house for sale right now? And he's like, yeah, it has been for a minute. And then Brittany goes, interesting. And Angie's like, yeah, I won't be neighbors with Mary and Bronwyn anymore. Brittany's still thinking, and she immediately has her phone out. She goes, it looks gorgeous. And then she's like, I must be reading the Zillow or something. She goes, looks like there was a price adjustment. That's not good. She's doing this at the table. Looks like there's a price adjustment. That's not good. That is not good. But Angie keeps talking about getting property and horses and goats and vineyards. Of course, vineyards. And then Lisa goes, I could be a farmer. And Bronwyn's face is like, what did you say? Did you say you could be a farmer? Ugh. But Angie says that's her goal. Lisa goes, I feel like for a week, I would be a great farmer. I would be a great farmer for a week. And there's silence. And then Brittany, still on the phone, goes, why didn't you reach out to me about listing your house? I'm an agent. You know that. And Angie goes, well, my godson's mother is my agent. And Brittany just goes, oh, okay, well, if you're going to go with family, But Angie goes, I mean, Brittany, I just barely met you and I have lifelong friends. And Brittany's like, well, I just asked you the question. But I do think, Angie, it's listed a little high. Yeah. In my experience, it's listed a little high, Angie. And Angie fires back, well, you're from Provo and I'm from Federal Heights. And then Brittany goes, and it's been listed for 200 days. Oh, and she goes, 200 days? Angie goes, you don't know anything about homes in my neighborhood. You don't. It's the most prestigious zip code in Salt Lake City. And Brittany goes, I think I live in the most prestigious zip code. And then Whitney goes, actually, it's South Jordan per capita. And then Lisa goes, actually, the richest zip code is Highland. Then it goes to Alpine, then Draper, and then Park City. Tin roof rusted. And Meredith smiles like, this is what these ladies volleying this stuff about housing knowledge is so good. Brittany keeps going, that price adjustment is a really bad sign. And she goes, what is it a bad sign of, Brittany? When your house is on the market for some time and your agent suggests you should do a little price reduction. And Brittany goes, well, because price, you got to price it correctly the very first time, where you're going to get multiple offers right off the bat. And she goes, you don't get multiple offers when your house is listed for $4.5 million, hon. She throws hon. And then Brittany goes, you will get multiple. And Angie goes, you're fucking clueless. You're fucking clueless. Brittany goes, are you kidding me? It's my profession. It's in my bones. Don't insult what I do. Angie goes, don't insult my house. And Brittany goes, you don't have to be. Oh, Jared's calling me. Jared's calling me, you guys. Stop the presses. Stop this. Jared's calling me. And everybody's like, ooh, Jared's calling you. Jared Osmond. Whitney goes, you told me you were going to take the 30-day break from Jared. And then we flash to last week when Brittany was stroking that little baby cactus, where Whitney's like, do you know what your daughter Olivia wants from you? Has she expressed that? And Brittany's like, I think she wants me to stop dating. Give it 30 days, Brittany, and see what happens with Olivia. You should feel instinctually like I'll do anything for her. Do you feel that? And Brittany's like, yeah, I do. But she looked like, no, I don't. In this scene, Brittany goes, oh, well, we're back. We're back together. You can't hold back true love. And Heather goes, oh, my God, Brittany. Mary goes, has it been 30 days? No, Mary, that's what they're just saying. And then Brittany turns to Mary and goes, you caught me, Mary. No, it's been 24 hours. Mary goes, oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. I can feel the salmon multiplying just hearing this from Brittany. Whitney goes, Jared actually came over to my house and talked to Justin. And then we flash to their house and we hear Jared's voiceover talking to Whitney's husband going, I've been very good to Brittany. I've dropped thousands and thousands of dollars on her. And then the breakups come and then I ask, well, what was I? Was I just dinner? A trip? A this, a that? A solid, girthy penis? What was old Jared just Mr. Moneybags to Brittany? Oh my God, thank God they didn't send us now that I was about to say thank God they didn't show us that whole scene, but at the same time, I'm such a Salt Lake fan that I was like, I would have loved to have seen an extended conversation with Jared. Come on, because he gets himself in so much trouble. I love the plight of a rich white man complaining that he's being used by a woman. Give me a break. Let this man hang himself by his own words. Release all of the Jared Osmond tapes immediately. Anyways, Whitney goes, one of his biggest qualms is that he feels like you get back with him when you want a vacation or a gift. And Brittany's like, what? Zoinks? Huh? And Brittany's like, that is so messed up. But essentially, Brittany's probably also thinking, oh my God, he's talking about me? He actually went to your house and talked about me? Lisa goes, I would break up with him just for that reason. Bronwyn's like, the ridiculousness of this woman calling me a gold digger for 9 straight months. When he goes, has he paid for a vacation? Brittany goes, well, he did take me to Bakersfield. No, he goes, he took me to Vegas one time last year. Heather goes, Vegas? That's a road trip. Brittany goes, the fact that he's talking shit about me, a real estate agent, to your husband? What? Telling my friends that he pays for my life? Bravo pays for my life. Bronwyn says, that is so gross of him. And then all of a sudden, this big flower arrangement glass breaks, just falls, a gush of wind. God is angry because he's supporting Jared Osmond and brushes the vase and it falls. And everyone's like, whoa. And Whitney just a huge mouth, what? And Heather goes, Utah Spring. Utah Spring, you know how Utah Springs are. But when he goes, that's my whole flower arrangement. That's the rest of my money that I spent. Oh my gosh. And Brittany's like wiping away tears, and a talking head, she goes, that really sucks for Jared to like paint me out to be this gold digger. He may be a gentleman and pick up the tab at the end of dinner, but I let him raw dog. No, he goes, or buy me some clothes or a nice bag. That's not the same thing as paying for my life. Plus, I've made him so much a priority that it could have negatively affected my relationship with my daughters. Well, that's on you. That one, I'm not going to blame Jared. That's solely on you. She tells the girls, that is so messed up. How could he say that? He promises that he wants, and then you guys, the same vase that they just put back up falls again. Utah Spring, you guys. Mary goes, a second time. Brahman goes, the winds of change want you to break up with Jared, Brittany. And Mary goes, it is a sign. It's a sign. And Brittany goes, we love each other. Can you imagine? You know Jared's one of those guys that's like, I want to make love to you. Can we have a session of rowdy lovemaking tonight? You know, like he's like, let me take off all my bracelets and jewelry, and then let's make love on Osmond Lane. When he goes, Brittany, do you want to go first with Terrence, our psychic intuitive? And Brittany goes, okay, well, something good's. I get to go first? Cool. Heather is obviously feeling it because I don't think she eats a lot anymore, but she's like, the sun's coming out and the wine is kicking in. Terrence, you have no idea what's about to begin. Terrence is inside, like, shuffling his deck like he's a blackjack dealer. And Whitney's like, hi. Brittany has her eyes closed and she has like a flower and she's like, this is a magic wand leading me to Terrence. Hi, I'm good, Terrence. This is my friend Brittany. I like Brittany's like, hi, nice to meet. Like, it's like a little kid, like a, hi. Be open to receive, Brittany. She's like, I will for sure. I need this right now. Yeah. So outside, the antics are still going on. And Meredith goes, so you guys, there's some stuff that I want to discuss here. Angie goes, Meredith's going to make a toast. And Meredith's like, no, I'm not making a toast. I'm not making a toast. No. I have some concerns. And right then, I was just like, fuck yeah, let's go, Meredith. Let's go. Because, she's starting small. And in my dream, she was going to just ramp up to like full-blown yelling of like, I have some concern. Like the beginning of a song, when sometimes you'll have a song where somebody's like talking over the first part of the track, like on That Boy Is Mine with Brandy. Remember, it's like, I thought that boy was mine. No, he's mine. Like, that's how I thought this was like, I have some concerns, and then just bust out into full gear. We don't fully get there, but we get close. So Meredith goes, I have some concerns. How do I say this? Let's see. Lisa and I started a new friendship, and we made a commitment to each other that when stuff was brought to us, we would be direct. In that vein, Lisa, I have an issue that I need to ask you about. Okay. And Angie smiles. Leaves a pause. I need to know if you were trying to spread negative rumors about my family. And everybody's looking at each other. Heather, oh God, I hate that I pick on Heather now so much. I gotta get past my Heather, because Heather always just seems like she's doing too much. Like all the other ladies like react big as well, but for some reason with Heather, I don't buy it. It's like she knows the camera's on her. But I also just think that's my negativity coming through. Right? It's my fault. So anyway, everybody's like, what? And there's a big pause, and Lisa goes, no. I feel like even last year, I like worked really hard on like being a better friend to you. I thought that was going to be like, I worked really hard on not spreading rumors about your family last year. Like I put it in a journal. Like that was an actual goal. So I don't know what this is even about. And Lisa looks directly at Angie, and Lisa goes, but Satan looks like she might. Ha 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 ha. Like Lisa smiled, but Satan looks like she might. Ha 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 ha. And she just called Angie K. Satan, you guys. Oh my God. But Satan looks like she does. Ha 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 ha. And Angie goes, I'm not Satan. I don't work in the dark, which is unfair to Satan. Satan's like, I totally work during the day as well. What are you talking about? I work with full lights on. And Lisa goes, and Angie goes, I do work in the lights, in the open. Oh, really, Angie K? Okay. I pride myself on coming direct to people. And I'd like to think that I was very careful not to say anything negative about Meredith to you. And everybody's just staring. And Angie goes, well, I don't want to cut you off, Meredith. So unless it's made up, I don't make anything up, Lisa. Angie says, oh, yeah, I think you do if you're telling her this. And inside, Brittany's with Terrence, and he's laying out the cards, And he goes, why does this feel like a reversal around family? Do you feel disconnected from someone in your own family? Come on, man. The producer set this dude up. Do you feel like someone disconnected from your own family? And Brittany's like, from my daughters? How old are they? She goes, 23 and 19. And he goes, so the 19-year-old is the younger one. And she goes, yeah. I mean, I guess if you go by numbers, yeah. He says, it's like a stone wall up. And I look at this and I'm going, you're not communicating. And Brittany goes, huh? Like, what? Say what? No, what? Huh? So basically, this is already what Whitney said the episode before. In a talking head, she goes, Terrence is the real deal. Terrence is the real... I could totally be a psychic, you guys. Terrence is the real deal. I am telling you, there's no way he could have known this. There is no possible human way. This man... And I'm not saying that he's not obviously gifted. Like, I can read people, but there is no way. Like, I would have even known this information from just watching last season of Salt Lake. I could probably put this in ChatGPT and come up with this. She says, I'm telling you, there's no way he could have known this. And we flash back to last season when she's playing pickleball with Heather saying, I have totally sacrificed my kids. And then another scene when she says, I've been struggling with my daughters not talking to me. And then another scene where she goes, neither daughter will talk to me. And this is all from last season. So they're just putting in that she's talked about this a lot. But she says, I have goose pimples right now. I have goosebumps right now. Wow. And Terrence goes, spend some time getting to know her all over again. Yeah, maybe take her on a vacation that Jared pays for. Who knows? Outside, Angie goes, the biggest thing for me, Lisa, that I'm realizing about you. And Lisa goes, is that you like to go behind my back and try and impact my relationships by being nasty? And Angie goes, is that what I do? That's what you clearly do, Angie K. That's not what I did. It's not true. It's not true, Meredith. And Angie goes, it's not true? And Lisa goes, well, whatever makes you feel more comfortable shredding me and saying shit behind my back? And Whitney goes, what are you talking about? And Lisa goes, I don't really give a fuck. Angie goes, you try. And Lisa just yells over, you're a fucking bully with lies. You're a fucking bully. You're a fucking bull. Angie goes, I have never said one thing that is not factual. Never. And Lisa goes, you talk pretty shitty about my kids and the Fresh Wolf Empire. Angie goes, I didn't say one word about your kids. And then Lisa goes, my kids are fucking, she goes, my kid's fucking brand. We're having a child, and I got to immediately out of the womb go, what is your fucking brand? Like, what is your brand, little girl? Like, immediately, that's why I'm so glad I'm going to be this girl's father, because I'll be able to know the importance of a brand right out of the gate, because of this conversation. But Meredith goes, you guys, come on, not the kids, please. Save talking about the kids for Next Gen NYC. Please, no, not the kids. You're hurting other people, not each other. Which is a great, hurt each other. But she goes, you're hurting other people, not each other. So we got her screaming. So this is like a positive step for Meredith. For the audience. And Meredith says, everyone keeps saying something about the kids. And Lisa goes, thank you so much for pointing that out. Thank you. And Meredith goes, stop going low. And Brittany comes out with a flower and goes, "You're up." And like, I think hits, what is it, Lisa or Bronwyn on the head. But Meredith keeps going, "Stop it, please." She shakes, "See, stop it, please." And Bronwyn's getting up to see the psychic. She's like, "I've never been more excited to see Brittany in my life." I would have wanted to stay there and watch that. I mean, are you watching like an IMAX feature watching them fight? These are like pros. But Lisa goes, "I did not say anything about you to Angie. On God. Bible. Say Bible." And Meredith is just smiling like, yeah, Heather goes, "Oh my God." In a talking head, she goes, "I do not understand Meredith. This is the type of thing that usually she would not be able to overlook. I mean, this is a woman who loses her mind over liking a tweet." And we flash back to, I think it was last season when she's yelling at, was it Jen Shah? Like, "It's your fucking Twitter, Jen." And Heather goes, "And I know that Lisa tends to have information on people. So I'm just surprised that Meredith just kind of let Lisa off the hook and this pretending it was all a big lie that Angie told." It is weird, man. Sometimes I think like Meredith is on like CBD gummies or something like that because she's like, okay. It's so, her switch ups are so interesting. I want to know more about it, right? And we do know that Lisa collects information on people. Just because Lisa tells us she doesn't mean that she doesn't, because we have proof that she does. We go inside to Brittany meeting with Terrence, but what is so great is that you can still hear them arguing in the background. Like, it's just a brilliant little touch. So we go to Angie, and Angie goes, "Let me tell you why I brought this to Meredith, because I have finally had this little light bulb moment with you. I leave Lisa's event. You've got me thinking like, oh my God, Lisa does have a heart. Lisa is my friend. Lisa does care about me and my family. And then I come home to you sending someone in for picking up your product." And Lisa goes, "My kid's product, Fresh Wolf. Yes, I was being nice. I sent Sage in to get Sage is a great name. I sent Sage in to get product. And I said, don't say anything, but I'm here to pick up the product." And then she said to Sage, "Let me go get that dusty product." That's what Angie said. "Let me go get that dusty product." And Angie goes, "Ooh, that's so serious." Inside, Terrence is laying out the cards. And he goes, "Why does brain keep coming up?" And she like looks like, "Oh, brain. She goes, "Because my mom doesn't have a brain." No, now it's Muzzy. And Bronwyn's like, "Well, my mom just had a big surgery in December." It would be great if he laid out the cards and goes, "Whoa, I am seeing here that your mom is a gigantic asshole. Like the biggest asshole these cards have ever seen. Wow, what an asshole energy coming off these cards towards your mother. But I guess she had a big surgery in December." And he goes, "It almost feels like another procedure." And Bronwyn's like, "Okay, yeah, okay. She's ignoring something in her blood numbers. It's getting murky, and if I only had $50 more, I could see clear." No, he goes, "She's ignoring something in her blood numbers. So something is elevated that she has not been paying attention to, that I think is only come into focus since January." So I look at this, I go, there's another set of eyes, another specialist, someone who's going to really want to work with her. Yeah, like fucking people at the loony bin. She goes, there's only a certain percentage of recovery here. So dark news he's given Bronwyn. And Bronwyn's starting to like cry. And he's like, but there is life. There is life. There is life. Bronwyn in a talking head says, "For so long, we've been so focused on my dad and this slow drip of a degenerative disease that," she says, and she's tearing up in the talking head. She goes, I didn't know I needed to be worried about my mom. I always think there's 10 more rounds of fight for me and my mom left, you know? What if there's not?" Isn't that an interesting way to look at sometimes family? Is that you just get so used to these patterns. Like if you are somebody that fights with your parents or fights with your siblings, and you're just like, you then almost take that fighting for granted. Like, I'll be fighting with them for the rest of my life. Right. And then sometimes when something happens, you realize, oh my God, what if that isn't the way the future is? That's something to come to grips with, even if it's not a pleasant experience dealing with this person on a day-to-day basis. But then he goes, "She's also your biggest supporter." And that's when I knew Terrence was full of shit. I was like, well, no, Terrence, she's not. She's not. She might say she is. But he goes, "But it doesn't always seem that way. but she always shows up. Shows up because she gets free room and board over at Browen and what? He goes, it might not be the timing or the way you want it to be, but she does what she can. You've got to let that go. Okay, this is where I'd be a bad psychic because I'd be like, you got to hold on to that with all your might. Just hold on to that anger, okay? But he goes, make peace with that relationship. And then you hear the fighting outside going, you're a liar. Oh my God. You're a liar. Angie goes, let me take a minute and read this beautiful text that Lisa sent me. Oh, Lisa, well, at least I don't have to borrow money to take vacations using a card I should have never used to begin with, period. And Lisa goes, sorry, I use voice text, period. Sorry, the reason that's read that way is because I use voice to text. I was told you guys she used somebody else's credit card to go on a trip to Europe, and then she had to write a check and pay it back. And if she wants to write me something nasty, I'm going to write it back. So once again, Lisa has collected this information somewhere along the way. So this thing that Lisa keeps, this is what I hate, is people, we really come to a place in the forked path here in life where as a society, there isn't, you just got to commit to the lie. If you commit to the lie, even if people have proof and evidence that you've done something, if you commit to the lie, people go, well, she wouldn't lie. I mean, she wouldn't just flat out lie. We have to accept that people, and especially housewives, flat out lie. Flat out lie. Doesn't make them bad people, but they flat out lie. And then Angie, takes the bait. She goes, this is my company card, bitch. It's a black fucking American Express. And she thunks it on the table. Thunk. And Lisa goes, that's not a flex, honey. That's not a flex. Check out this. It's a Discover card. This is a Diners International card. And then Angie goes, here's another one. And she's just throwing credit cards in. Here's another one. And that's my third one. Brittany is just slowly picking them up and putting them into her purse. And Angie goes, and here's my Black American Express. Here it is. And here's my fucking Prada bracelet. And Lisa goes, okay, calm down. And Angie goes, and I can swipe it to charge anything. So her Prada bracelet is one of those fancy bracelets that you can swipe. That's some next level Back to the Future shit, you guys. And Mary goes, don't throw that on the floor, girl. Don't throw that on the floor, girl. Put this in your purse, Angie K. Put this in your purse. Stop throwing your stuff. That's when Mary gets like, don't. It's dirty on the Utah ground. The mean streets of Utah. Heather goes, this is the first time I've actually seen an actual black card. Whoa. Brittany does pick it up and goes, can I use this? I just need one person to nod their head and I will. Just do it. Do this. Heather in a talking head goes, we better hide these from Brittany or Jared's never going to hear from her again. Too bad, Heather says. And then Lisa screams, you want a dish, but you can't take it. You're fabulous. You're everything, Angie. And Angie's standing at this point and goes, shut your fucking mouth. I'm not going to shut my fucking mouth. Tin roof rusted. And Angie's like, you're a liar. No, you're a liar. You're a liar. And Lisa goes, and she said shit about every single person. And then Angie goes, I'm going to come over there and I'm going to pull your ears further back than they've already been pulled by your fucking facelift. Angie, that's why sometimes I'm like, are these written out things? Because it's so specific. I'm going to pull your ears back tighter than they've ever been pulled by your fucking facelift. It's such a great line that you just think most people would not be able to think of on the spot, but Angie is full of them. I need to know more about Angie's process, the creative process of these lines. Has she always been able to generate these kind of reads from nowhere? Because it's like sometimes she'll stutter over them, but they're solid lines. And Brittany hears this and she's like, oh, she said fucking facelift. And then Lisa goes, oh my God, you're jealous of my face now? Oh my gosh. And then Angie goes, you look like you've been in a wind tunnel. And Heather takes her napkin and just puts it directly fully over her face. Lisa takes 2 handfuls of her Kerastase shiny black hair. We cut to our second commercial. We come back from the break. I mean, Angie K just said the wind tunnel line. And just once again, I want you to go watch this episode again and just don't pay attention to the words and just look at the faces of the people that aren't speaking. Like Brittany's face is cracking me up. It's like a little girl that like stole a bunch of candy and she's like, and Mary's like, it's just all of their reactions are so great. But Lisa's like, listen, Angie K, do you want me to go dark with you? Do you want me to go fucking dark? 0 dark 30, bitch. Lisa Barlow. You want to stand up? I can stand up too. And Lisa stands up. What are you standing on, shorty? So now Lisa's making fun of Angie K's height. And then Angie goes, are you taller than me? I am. And Angie goes, no, you're not. Now it's getting on to like a tall off. Maybe it's going to go to a weight off, a lash off, a kerastase off. And then Lisa goes, she's 3 inches shorter. I'm by at least 3 inches, shorty. And Brittany goes, oh my gosh, what is happening? Angie sits down and goes, listen, I'm going to sit down and tell you. And then Lisa goes, you know what? I'm going to sit down and tell you we are not friends. And Brittany goes back to, hee. Oh, it's bad, but it makes me gig. It makes me feel good in my tummy area. And then Angie goes, my credit cards for every fucking business are in my name. And Lisa goes, you love how she always goes back to this? Yeah, because that's what you accuse her of, Lisa, with the credit cards and the vacation. I would love it if Lisa gets a hold of her Venmo. Like, oh my God, look at this. It's a pizza emoji. $30 for pizza. What the fuck is this, Angie K? Oh my God. I've got your whole Venmo transaction emoji history. I still don't understand people on Venmo that makes that shit public. Like, who are you trying to impress? Why do I need to know you paid for half of an Uber ride? Like, I have friends that and if you're one of those people, I'm so sorry, but I'm just sometimes befuddled of like, why do you want me to know how you split any of your finances? Like, it's always some weird shit. Like, here's for the multiplex. But Lisa goes, it's like an allegation that's so fucking dumb. Bronwyn's coming back out, and Bronwyn's like, Heather, it's your turn. Heather, it's your I don't want to interrupt the fighting, but Heather, it's your turn to see Terrence. And then Lisa just screams even louder, Angie, I didn't do anything to you. And you want to blame me for everything you do. And Angie goes, you need a therapist. Well, you know, therapy, everybody needs a therapist, right? Bronwyn's dabbing her tears from Terrence with a little napkin. And Angie just keeps going, you need a therapist. You need a therapist. And Lisa goes, you shit on the people that do the most. No, Angie says you shit on people that do the most for you. No, Lisa says, they're talking over each other, guys. This is like advanced podcasting right now, just trying to decipher. And Lisa's like, you do shit. She shits on the people that do the most for her. And Bronwyn's like, I'm sorry. Well, I missed a good piece of this conversation. And then Lisa goes, user. And then Heather comes in. Hi, Terrence. I'm Heather Gay. Proof, receipts, timeline. My work precedes me. And you can still hear them fighting in the back. And she goes, do I shake your hand? Are you human? Do you have actual DNA? Hi. I like Heather goes, I'm so excited. You're studying Terrence. She goes, I have never done anything like this before. We can hear the full fight out there, and we hop back in the fight. And Lisa goes, you start it, and you can't take it. You can't take it when anybody says anything bad. And then Whitney goes, have some respect for me and my event. Angie, it's never going to end. It's just never going to end because they both can't stop talking and they have to have the last word. Extended episode. That's what let them cook, man. Let them do their thing. Angie goes, bitch, those are my cards. And Lisa goes, no, Angie goes, bitch, those are my cards. And Lisa goes, you started it. Now Whitney goes over and grabs Angie K's face and is looking directly at her. Whitney loves to do a good, like a shoulder grab or a head grab. Bronwyn is just silently crying still. And Lisa's like, we're not getting anywhere because you want to believe something horrible about me because it makes you feel better about you. In a talking head, Whitney goes, at this point, they'll be haunting each other in the next life. Fuck yes, dude. I would watch that show as well. The Haunting. Oh my God. Don't tease me with a good time. And Meredith's like, Bronwyn, what's going on over there? And then Meredith shouts, you guys, stop it right, man! No, baby! And Bronwyn's like, oh. Everybody's just dead quiet now, and I love it. I love how they can go from yelling to just dead silence. And Bronwyn's like, both of my parents really are struggling right now, health-wise. According to Terrence, it's a lot. It's a big transition to have my mom living with me right now, and I love her so much. And for him to say, like, I need to make peace with her. And Lisa goes, oops, oh. But she's like, I need to figure out our relationship. It's scary. And Lisa's like, I'm sorry. Bronwyn goes, so I'm telling you, please don't say stuff about people's kids. Well, that was like the last argument. We're on to a new argument now. Please don't say stuff that's too far. And Lisa goes, same. I feel the same. And Bronwyn's like, there's got to be a boundary. I don't want to go low with you, Angie K. And I've even told you that. And Angie goes, you do go low with me. And Lisa goes, you go low. And she's trying to now yell, but be quiet because they're, just like, you go low. You fucking go. Angie, do you fucking read what you wrote? Do you fucking read what you wrote? And Whitney's standing up again. Did you just hear what Bronwyn just said? And now Mary Cosby's over, like side hugging Bronwyn. And Whitney's finally like, can you two leave? Can you two go over by the pond? And Angie goes, no, I want to be here with Bronwyn. She can leave. Lisa can leave. And Lisa goes, you can leave. And Angie goes, no, you can leave. And I was like, you can leave. You can leave. No, you can leave. And Lisa's like, see, why do you have to do that? Why do you have to fucking just say, shut up for once? Shut up. And she keeps like touching her Kerastase hat. And Lisa goes, why did you send a nasty ass fucking text to begin with? And now Brittany and Bronwyn are hugging. And Bronwyn's like, look at Brittany and I hugging. Well, you two fucking ruin each other's lives. And Angie goes, Lisa, you're such a bitch. You say shit and then you won't listen. Back inside Terrence, we still hear the fighting. Terrence hears the fighting. The cards hear the fighting. And Terrence, puts the cards out and he goes, it's rebirth. It's all about taking back your power. Yep. Do you feel like love's not working out for you? And Heather goes, And then we hear Lisa screaming, you want this perfect image about you and you want to ruin everybody else. Angie goes, I have never said I'm perfect. You are a fucking dark-hating bitch. And then Whitney's like, Lisa, do you want to stay good with stop talking? And then Lisa's like, you read evil. You like protrude evil. Angie K protrude. There's a protrusion. It's evil Angie K. And then Angie goes, no, I don't. Yes, you do. You're such a fucking bitch. And Whitney goes, no. And Bronwyn's like, no. And Whitney grabs Angie K to pull her away. And Angie goes, pick up my black cards and go to Nordstrom. Which, by the way, like, that's a good offer. Brittany's like, for me too, just Lisa. And Lisa's like, honey, I don't shop there, but you do. And then Angie like breaks Whitney's hold and goes, you don't shop at Nordstrom? Your boyfriend does for you. Your boyfriend does for you. That's who shops at Nordstrom. And then Lisa goes, what about Soup Man, bitch? What about Soup Man, bitch? And everybody's like, huh? And me at home, I'm like, fuck yeah, Soup Man. And then I was like, who's Soup Man? There's a Soup Man? And then Angie goes, what is Soup Man? And Bronwyn in a talking head goes, what is a fucking Soup Man? Meredith in a talking head goes, wasn't there some Seinfeld thing with soup? What's the deal with soup? Am I right, ladies and gentlemen? What's the deal? I love Seinfeld. They're obviously talking about the infamous soup Nazi episode of Seinfeld where, the soup place Kramer loves, opens up. Everybody loves the soup, but you can't be picky with the soup guy because he'll kick you out. They call him the soup Nazi. No soup for you. It's a great episode. Go check. You guys know I fall asleep to Seinfeld every night. I have my little AirPod in because my mind is overactive, and Seinfeld is one of those things that can put me to sleep. And so right when I'm getting tired, I put it in and I will listen to Seinfeld episodes and I'll just go through all 9 seasons. I swear to God, I've done this now, I think for like close to 2 years. Isn't that crazy? That's how I fall asleep. I'm sharing too much. But Brittany in a talking head goes, Soup Man? Soup Man? And then Mary Cosby goes, I'm starving. So when he goes, NGK, come over to the water with me. Mary's like, I don't even know what Soup Man is. The producer asks Lisa Barlow, who is Soup Man? And Lisa goes, I think that's a question for Terrence. Terrence is like, oh my God, yes. I'm seeing soup. I'm seeing a man. I'm seeing a soup man. I'm seeing like a mulligatawny, a chowder, a corn chowder. That's what the cards are seeing, a corn chowder. Angie's still screaming, "What soup, man? Say it, Lisa," as Whitney's holding Angie back. And then Lisa goes, "Angie, shut your fucking mouth." I love when people scream, "Shut your fucking mouth" at a winery, at a Utah winery. Lisa is barging into Heather's like intuitive session, and Brittany's following. And, Brittany's like, "Lisa, they're doing a reading." And Lisa goes, "Whoops, whoops." And then you hear Lisa, just her voice going, "I'm just sick of this," as Terrence is like, "Heather, like, hold on. I'm going to be right back, Brittany." And then Angie's like, "Oh my God, here comes Lisa." And Lisa goes, "Hey, don't talk behind my back." And Angie goes, "Why are you saying that I'm using someone else's credit cards?" Lisa goes, "I believe that you went on a trip to Greece and used somebody else's credit card and had to pay it back." Okay, now Angie's good Greek name is being thrown. The Greek people are being thrown into this. But Angie just keeps going, "My cards are in my name, all of them." Which I don't like. That even doesn't make really logical sense of like, okay, your cards are, but did you maybe like vacation with another fan? I'm trying to think of how this could possibly work. But Lisa goes, "I believe you. Wait. Angie, I believe you. I believe you." Now I'm so confused. Angie goes, "No, Mary, will you get my credit cards, please? Mary, will you get my credit card? I just want to show again that the credit cards. I want to show her the year I got them. The year." And when he goes, stop. And Mary's like, I don't want to give you the credit cards because I don't want you throwing them in the water. And Whitney, Angie, this is such a mess. Angie just keeps talking to Lisa. "These have been in my name since 2003. These credit cards are my family. They have been in my name." And when he goes, hey, look at me. It's like that scene in Good Will Hunting where Matt Damon standing up and Robin Williams is like, "It's not your fault. It's not your fault." And, Matt Damon's like, "Come on, man, stop. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault." That's what Whitney is doing right now to Angie K. But when he goes, "Hey, you said you believe that she took another person's credit card for vacation, Lisa. How is that any different than her saying she believes that you took money from American Express?" And Lisa goes, "Who started it? Nana, nana, boo, boo. Who started it? I would never." Whitney making a great fucking point. Like, this is the same thing about the American Express, the lawsuit with Lisa. And then Whitney finally has to scream like Meredith and goes, "Oh my fucking God, Angie, stop talking. Stop talking." And then our guest star, the lady winery lady, is like, "I do have a nice Chablis I would love for you to taste if you want to come take a seat. I do, yes. You're scaring the birds." So we come back to Heather leaving, like, "Thank you so much." Like, I wanted to know more about Heather's. Like, what you said, do you have trouble with relationships? And I wanted to know if he saw her like, "Oh, but you do a lot of hippity dippity with like random people." Like, I wanted to know specifics about Heather. But this damn fight's happening, and Lisa outside's like, "We were in business together with my husband. His name's on it too. I'm going to go get proof." All about the dismissed lawsuits, right? "I'm going to get proof. You're everything, Angie K, that you accuse me of." And Angie goes, "I'm not scared, Lisa. I'm not scared." And Lisa goes, "I don't want you to be scared." And then Whitney's pushing Lisa to Terrence. "It's your turn. And Angie goes, "Bye, Lisa." And as now Heather's grabbed Lisa and is dragging her in. And Lisa's like, "If you dish, you better be able to take." And Angie just keeps going, "Bye, Lisa. Bye, Lisa." And then Lisa walks into Terrence and goes, Hi. Terrence is like, "Hello, how are you?" And Lisa is like smiling. She's like, "Did I skew the reading?" And he's like, "No, not at all. No." And Lisa's like, "How are you?" Like, just so bubbly and effervescent. And he's like, "Hi, Terrence." Now outside, Brittany goes, "So tell us about yours, Heather." And Heather goes, "He just said you are the richest, most successful, and everyone at the table is going to work for you one day." And I said, "What? No, stop." And then Bronwyn's like, "I think he got our readings mixed up, Heather. It's your parents who are dying." And Brittany's like, "Is Lisa getting hers right now?" And Heather goes, "Poor man has his work cut out for him. Hey, decide who you want to be. Do you want to be the person that kisses Lisa's ass or not? You can't, come on, let's remain consistent." Inside, Terrence goes, "Huh. What's the water sign? Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer?" And Lisa goes, Scorpio, how did you know? My husband. And he goes, why do you feel like you're just rebuilding trust? And so, guys, he just says this one sentence, and Lisa goes from bubbly effervescent to, I don't know. I don't know. And she goes to put her sunglasses on immediately. Oh my God, I've got to get my crying glasses on. And he goes, it's like an elastic band. You guys keep snapping back together. And Lisa's fully crying, brushing her Kerastase hair. He goes, you need to figure out how to communicate to each other again. Okay? And she goes, that's probably true. Like, he says one thing, she doesn't argue it at all. Angie K or any of the other ladies say something that she argues until the cows come home. You know what? That's probably true. We should give Terrence some of Angie K's lines and see if she agrees. Like, oh my God, that actually is true. Yes. He goes, I also look at this and go, because it feels like you have different paths. And she goes, I feel like that's true too. And he goes, you don't know how to find your way back to his path. It's like there's a lot of angst or frustration there. And she's very upset. In a talking head, she goes, this is where I get emotional. I got to stop just for a second because I'm not going to be emotional today. She just says marriage is hard. Like, shit. She's crying. She's like, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. Hold on. She tells Terrence, I feel like he's my best friend. And he goes, he really is. He's my person. But you're not on the same team, Lisa. And she goes, we're not. And this is kind of mind-blowing to me. I was like, whoa. She says lately, she thinks with everything we have going on, we're like on totally different pages. And then we flash back to John talking to Lisa going, hey, Jack and I were talking, 2 or 3 weeks ago. I actually was in favor of him getting an apartment. And Lisa's like, you were? And he goes, yeah, I don't think he should be allowed to move out. And she goes, why? And Lisa just stares at him. Lisa says, sometimes I feel like totally different planets with him. And Lisa telling him, I just need you to take it like a little more seriously. And he goes, I am taking it serious. And Lisa goes, because I think it bothers me because I feel lonely in my feelings. And he goes, how can I take it more seriously, Lisa? I stress about it just as much as you do. And she goes, you don't act like you do. And that frustrates me. And that frustrates me. And he's like, what frustrates me is that you can't say the word frustrate. I should tell Angie K about the frustrate thing, just if she needs to use something for the next season. But Terrence says, Lisa, until you can get back to that same team, you're going to feel like lost. Not the show. Lisa says she just feels like alone sometimes, and it hurts. Yeah, Lisa is a real person. I like these vulnerable moments. I will take this over Lisa screaming well, that's not true. Some days I would take this over that. She's dynamic. It's interesting that she opens up more with the intuitive than she does with these ladies. But anyways, Heather goes, what did I miss? And Meredith's like, a lot of yelling, Heather, a lot of screaming, and Angie goes, okay, so Lisa can say things about me and I just have to sit there. And Whitney goes, well, here's the thing, Angie K, you're going back and forth, the digging up, because I didn't dig anything up on her, Whitney. And then Whitney goes, I know, I'm having your back right now. And Angie goes, thank you. I'm sorry. I didn't realize, it is interesting when you're so angry, right? If you're that type of person that doesn't even understand that this is going your way in a sense, right? God, I'm still thinking about Soup Man. We're just not going to clear up Soup Man. Soup Man better come back into play this season. Because if you just leave me with this, my imagination is going to run wild. It just reminds me of that the Palm Springs episode from last season when Seth was like, proof, biatch. Swear, who's Soup Man, biatch? I need Seth involved. I need the heavy hitters finding out who Soup Man is. Anyways, Heather tells Angie, goes, Lisa, this is who she's always been, and you were with her doing it. And Mary goes, amen. Heather goes, so now to say I've had enough is a little bit crazy, Angie K. And Angie goes, but I've never dug up anything on anyone, Heather. My biggest thing that I share with Meredith. And Mary's like, yeah, but come on. But you accepted it when you were her friend. So Mary does make a point here. And Angie goes, Mary, you got to hear this. And Mary goes, you got to hear me too. I'm talking too. And Angie goes, I know, I hear you, but you got to listen to me. You just always want somebody listen. But you don't never listen. I'm saying something. When she was your friend, you went along with her, Angie. And Angie's like, what? Mary makes a great point, though. Lisa walks up now out of Terrence and goes, I'm right here. You want me? Come get me, bitch. And when he goes, Ange, you go. Run. Lisa's back. You go to Terrence. I put all of, no. And then she goes, I'll take your stuff. And Angie's like, leave it. It's okay. Because Lisa might have questions about my business. So have her feel free to go through my purse. Just feel free. And then Lisa goes, what did I miss? More about my face, my business? I don't have a facelift, but I have 12 threads on each side. I love Lisa's brutal honesty when it comes to certain things. She's like, I didn't have a facelift, but I do have 12 threads on each side of my face that are holding my face up. And Heather's like, zoinks. Like Heather's probably put those in herself at Beauty Lab and Laser. Angie comes in. Hi, Terrence. Hi, how are you? Good to meet you. I've heard great things, Terrence. Great things. My gosh, don't tell me anything sad, Terrence. Just don't. Terrence puts the cards out. This is about expansion of business. And Angie's like, ding, ding, ding. Yes, that's nice. Good news. I see the federal ATF. I see police sirens. No. He goes, you're expanding into another business? And Angie's like, yep. Like a different type of business? And she shakes her head. Yep. And he goes, an opportunity either to represent a brand or create a brand? Why do I keep hearing product? See, I feel like I could have gotten this one too. I could have said this. I'm seeing a sponsored Instagram post of some sort. Why do I keep... Anyway, Angie in a talking head goes, I just got full body chills. She tells Terrence, I'm already in the process of designing sunglasses. In the talking head, she goes, no one knows this, though. The only people that know this are Sean, Electra, and the designers in Italy. Woo! Designers in Italy, baby. Italia. It would be great if Electra's a mole just feeding information to Terrence, the intuitive. But Terrence goes, keep moving with that. I think this could be huge. In a talking head, she goes, it's crazy that Terrence knows because no one knows. Outside, Whitney to Lisa, how was it? And Lisa goes, I thought it was really good. She's like, he's a fucking sham. No, she goes, I think he hit on things that were like, with John, like spot on. And then there's silence. And she goes, I thought it was good. Whitney in a talking head goes, I've never met someone quite like Lisa Barlow, but I've probably wasted too many brain cells trying to figure out why Lisa will only keep it surface level with us and why she has to appear to be perfect. Like, it's sad that she can't just get real and be vulnerable. I mean, Whitney is nailing it this season, you guys. Come on. Back inside, Terrence goes, Angie, is June a travel month for you? And she goes, yes. I feel like this is setting up the Greek trip. So this feels like another setup. Angie goes, yes, my dad rides horses and competes in usually June. And he goes, I also look at this and say, there's some sort of injury. And she goes, on a horse? And he goes, I don't think it's around your child. I think it's around the animal. Lisa's going to hurt one of Angie's horses. I know it. Oh my God. Outside, Whitney goes, what did he say about friendships, Lisa? And Lisa goes, he's like, you get burned because you love people. So big. I love big. And then I want to do everything for people. And then it usually doesn't work out that great for me. And Mary goes, he said that? And Mary's like, that's the devil. And Lisa goes, I'm paraphrasing. Okay, so inside, Angie thanks him for this information. And then Angie walks out. Everybody's like, uh-oh. Heather goes, uh-oh, walking in like a mob wife. And then Angie goes, Meredith, you're next. And Brittany's like, Angie, how was it? And she goes, it was fun. It was really a positive. We talked about having black cards. You know, we're both members. Membership has its privileges. She goes, it was positive. It was funny, though. And June, he showed a horse. We do travel for Electra's shows in June, but he said that it showed a possible injury on the horse. And Heather goes, zoinks. And Brittany goes, zoinks. And Angie goes, Electra might be riding another horse. And Mary goes, hey, that doesn't mean it has to happen, you know? Angie goes, horses do get injured. Brittany goes, oh. Inside, Meredith goes, Terrence, how are you? I'm good, thank you. I'm Meredith. Am I not supposed to tell you that? Were you supposed to guess my name? What name are you seeing? She goes, Outside, Lisa goes, Angie, do you feel bad about anything you said? And Angie goes, I've already apologized. And Bronwyn's like, you've talked about a kid's products. And then Angie goes, Bronwyn, she talked about your husband's gout dick. Touché. Bronwyn's like, don't go low like that. Gout dick is the lowest. And Lisa goes, I apologize for saying her husband sucks gout dick. I apologize. That's very big. That is very big of Lisa to apologize. That's nice. That's growth. Bronwyn goes, you're both saying crazy shit to each other. Someone has to stop first. And Lisa goes, I'm stopping. And Angie goes, I thought you were done after your lunch. And Lisa goes, I'm not saying another word about you. And Angie goes, but you did. You did. And then she goes, you did. You started it. You fucking started it. And she claps. I love the explosiveness, the explosive yelling. And right now, maybe I'm in the minority. I still find this highly entertaining. Whereas Tamara, when she throws these fits, I find it really gross. You fucking started it. She sits there and I'm like, I'm sorry I said anything, but you did. But you did. You fucking started this bullshit, Angie. And now poor Brittany is covering both of her ears and huddling in a fetal position of like, make me a bird so I can fly far, far, put me in the warmth of Jared's loving embrace right now, right? And Lisa just goes, enough. And she stands up. I could go so fucking low that we couldn't come back. And Angie goes, so could I. But Lisa's freaking out. Angie's cool as a cucumber. And Lisa goes, Angie, you have the thinnest fucking skin and you're jealous and I'm done. And Angie goes, I'm jealous? I'm jealous of you. And Lisa just goes, I'm done and is walking away. This is like pointless. And now Whitney has grabbed Lisa by the arm and is leading her away as Angie's like, okay. And then Lisa turns around and goes, hey, guess what? Learn to apologize. And then she turns to Whitney. I don't have a fucking facelift. I don't have a fucking face. Just know that. Of all the things said, I don't have a fucking... Did you hear about the threads? So Lisa's being dragged away and Mary Cosby's like, okay, let me talk to her, okay? Let me talk to her and grabs Lisa. And Lisa's like, tell her to shut the fuck up. And Mary's like, you're hurt. Just calm down. Lisa. And Lisa's like, she's a jealous fucking bitch. And Mary goes, and that's your opinion. And all opinions are that's your opinion. And Heather's like going, Bronwyn, to your Cabernet. They're cheersing Cabernet. And then Angie goes, you know what, ladies, I'll be right back. I have to grab something. Excuse me. Mary telling Lisa, find somewhere to solve it. Yeah, in a cage match, in a ring, and sell pay-per-view, just mud wrestling. Lisa's like, she's like fucking 5. It's like talking to a toddler. Oh my God, you're the biggest toddler. Inside, Terrence is telling Meredith, I look at this and say, someone's struggling. Someone's struggling with mental health. Angie walks in and interrupts Meredith's session, and Terrence is like, it's almost like kind of cutting the ties to a specific friendship. You don't trust this friend's narrative. And Angie's like, sorry, I just got to grab my big tub of goodies. Just got to grab. Terrence goes, don't let that pull you down. Live your honesty, right? And Meredith's smiling goes, very interesting. Yes, very interesting. But why is it very interesting? Let me know why. Anyways, Lisa's like, I'm exhausted by listening, Mary, please. And then Angie brings out the big tub of goodies and lays it on the table. And Bronwyn's like, what the fuck is this? And then Heather goes, oh my gosh, are we scrapbooking Angie K? And she opens the tub, the lid of the tub, and pulls out like this toy horse and puts it on top. And Angie goes, I brought back the things that Lisa gave me. And Bronwyn's like, this is a race to the bottom. And Heather's like, what's in the bin? What's in the box? What's in the bin? And Angie K goes, books and old Vita. And Bronwyn has the unopened Vita bottle and it says Angie Katsanevas on the side. Dude, I would buy this off of Angie. When I talk to Angie, I'm going to say, is that still in your possession? I would love to give you like $50-$60 for this. That's a collector's. But she says books, an old Vita bottle, a little horse that she bought, Electra, some little toys. And Heather goes, Angie. Bronwyn in a talking head goes, I mean, the bigger insult for me here is not that Angie brings the gifts to return. It's that Angie clearly never wanted these gifts. That Vita is still vacuum packed. Yes. To be fair, my Vita bottle from Lisa is also still vacuum sealed, though. I'd buy Bronwyn's, too, off of her. And Brittany's like, not giving the gifts back. And Angie goes, maybe you should try the same thing. It might be good for your relationship. Mary tells Lisa, find somewhere to solve it. You're an adult. You're a full-blown mom. You're a businesswoman. You can solve this. Lead with positivity. Show them the light, Lisa. Lead the way. Show them how to do it, Lisa. And Lisa goes, you are very motivational. You are very motivational, Mary Cosby. Mary comes back and goes, why do we have this big old Tupperware? Who has Tupperware? Who is this? What is this? And Lisa's, is like going through this stuff after coming back. And Angie's like, you sent me money back? I brought you back the things you gave me. And Lisa goes, Angie, you just don't get it. And she goes, no, I don't get it, Lisa. Whitney comes in. It's finally my turn, Terrence. Yay, it's finally my turn. And then Lisa goes, Angie, you're just upset that I'm working with Kerastas. And Angie goes, are you working with Kerastas? Are you digging, Angie? Are you trying to look into it? And Angie goes, no, because you're not. And then Lisa goes, okay, who's my best friend? And Angie's like, everybody's stumped on this one. The birds are even stumped. The birds are squawking. And then Angie goes, I don't know, Ben Affleck? And Bronwyn laughs. And we flash back to Lisa, the first episode of the season. I'm not going to drop names, but I'll be with Ben and Blake. Ben Affleck? I was at Ben Affleck and Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick's movie premieres. Lisa in this scene goes, you have no idea, Angie K. And Angie goes, I don't. And then Lisa goes, let's call the head of Kerastas right now. I'll tell her how upset you are. You're really jealous. God, the Kerastas lady, if she did in fact give Lisa her number, it probably regrets that at this point. Oh my God, it's Lisa. Guess what Angie said about Kerastas? But Bronwyn goes, you both have beautiful fucking hair, Care. Who cares? The only person with bad hair is Brittany, and hers is better. And Brittany's like, oh my gosh, you guys, I hate the joke, but I love you said my name. No more Brittany shading on my hair, you guys. Inside, Terrence tells Whitney, why do you feel like communication is upside down in the home? Whitney immediately starts crying again. Terrence is just running a great grift here. Terrence goes, you kind of shut down a little bit like the last 2 years. I'm seeing a stripper pole being installed. But he goes, there's also frustration business-wise? Does that sound? What's stressing you about the business? And Whitney goes, a failure. You've kind of let the world take over instead of you taking over the world. You have to be yourself authentically, okay? Whitney in a talking head goes, Wild Rose Beauty was the thing that finally made me feel equal in our marriage. Looking back, Justin showed no interest in it. And I didn't realize how much I needed Justin's approval and how much it hurt me to not have it, that he didn't want to be a part of Wild Rose Beauty. And she says it's hard because she loves Justin, but she also resents him. And she says, I don't feel like I can talk to Justin about it. She can only talk to Terrence and the camera and therefore us. But this is obviously going to be a storyline. In the season, she says her marriage with Justin is beautiful, but communication is the thing that we struggle with, which is normal in a marriage, right? Terrence says, my suggestion is before you close up shop on everything, really figure out what it is that you want to close up shop on, because I don't think you're done. No, baby, Whitney is just getting started. Outside, Lisa goes, Angie, I didn't degrade anything your family's doing. I didn't degrade cute Electra and her amazing horse hobbies. And Angie goes, but degrading my business. Bronwyn goes, I love both of you in very different ways, but you both fucked up and said crazy ass shit about each other. Just apologize and fucking end it. And Lisa goes, I need to go right now. Bed is calling. No, she goes, I need to go right now. And Mary goes, no. And Lisa just goes, bye, and turns and walks off. Inside, Terrence tells Whitney, you've got a snake that you got to get rid of. Is there something that someone you think is a friend and you can't trust, that you can't trust? And then all of a sudden, Lisa Barlow walks by Whitney's session, and Terrence goes, and you know it instinctually. Trust your instincts. Right when Lisa walks through the door and blows Whitney a kiss like, toodles. And Terrence goes, you've just got to create a distance. Doesn't mean you have to end the friendship. It just means that maybe you need to stay away from their chaos. We see Lisa getting in the GMC Yukon. How good is this show that right when that was being brought up, Lisa walks into that shot? Those little things, like it's like, is this real? This is just so well done. Angie says, I don't even know what to say right now. You guys all want me to like kiss the ring. I'm not going to sit here and be fucking made out to have her slinging mud at me. I'm sick of it. And Heather goes, I agree. Angie goes, it's getting fucking old. I am not going to be fucking bullied. And she's starting to tear up. I am sick of this. I'm sick of this. So Angie's breaking down. I'm sick of this. And Mary goes, you're going to hurt somebody. Stop. And Heather's like, Angie. And like when she stood up, when Angie was crying, stood up, the horse fell and the horse broke. The leg of the horse broke, you guys. And that was Terrence's thing, is that a horse is going to be injured. Mary Cosby goes, oh my God, that was Electra's horse. Huh. He was right. Come on, man. This has got to be set. This has got to be fake. How could this be so well put together with I almost think like, did the crew member come and knock over the horse? Like, this is really real? God bless. But Angie's standing up, crying, going, she is degrading me. She's trying to make me look bad. Hey, Heather says. And then Angie goes, soup man? And Heather goes, who's the soup man? And Angie goes, I don't know anyone that sells soup. I don't know anyone that sells soup. And Mary goes, Angie, calm down. I will not have my reputation fucking questioned. And you all want me to kiss her ass. Now Heather and Mary surround Angie. They're putting the straitjacket on her. No. And Heather's like, no, Angie, we do not want you to kiss her ass. I'm doing that for everybody. And Mary goes, Angie, nobody's worried about your reputation. We don't care. We know better. And Angie goes, Mary, she's a horrible person. I know you do. And then Mary's like, then stop. Stop taking stuff so hard then. So this is a friend trying to get through a friend going, we get it. We see, but we have to keep things moving here. It's not that deep, Mary says. Let it go. Mary in a talking head says, Angie's in a blind rage. I don't like being around that kind of feisty anger, you know. She says, it's just unsettling for me. She tells Angie, you're stronger than this. I am stronger than this, Mary, and that's why I'm not going back to this shit friendship. You've gone back. And she's pointing at all the other ladies. And Mary goes, what did you just say to me? And I said, you've all gone back. And Mary's like, I've gone back? I'm done with you. Like Mary flips like, I'm done with you. Said, I'm gone back. I'm done with you. And she goes, bye, Mary. And Mary turns around and walks away. Mary in the talking head says, I'm not going to be mad at Lisa because you're mad at Lisa. And I got screamed at for trying to bring peace. I would never disrespect her like that. Angie says, Mary, you have made friends with her after she said horrible things about you. And Mary's like, done with you. Picks up her purse. Somebody says, Angie goes, Mary. She goes, nope. And just Meredith goes, honey. Inside, Terrence says, you got to make space for yourself, Whitney. Now, Mary walks in just past Terrence and just like a brutal wave at Whitney. Terrence is like, it means you need to open up a little bit more. It means you need to not hold on to hurt. Mary's getting into her GMC. Whitney hugs Terrence. And it's a really sad end. Mary just walked off. And, when he goes, do you want me to send the last person in? Actually, I think she left. Angie telling Heather going, I'm not going to sit here and just take it. I am not. I don't fucking eat soup. Yeah. I'm not going to take it. I'll have you know one other. I don't eat fucking soup. I'm not doing anything illegal with soup. Oh my God. If she's laundering soup or like fun, like please for the love. If I wake up tomorrow to a big headline of like Mary Cosby arrested, Angie Katsanevas arrested for funneling soup across borders to Greece. But Angie goes, I'm not doing anything with anyone who sells soup. Bronwyn tells Whitney, are you okay? And she goes, it's always good to talk to Terrence. Where did everyone go? And Bronwyn's like, everyone left and I freaked out. Angie goes, Heather, I don't want to look at some fucking person that is trying to disparage me as a business owner, lunatic fringe. And Mary can be mad at me. And Bronwyn's like, look at me. I've had the same experience. Lisa shouts me down because she doesn't want me to say certain things. She says things that are exaggerated or twisted. You can only control yourself, Angie K. You don't have to take it, but you don't have to engage in it either. Meredith wakes up. I'm disengaging. Angie goes, but do you see what she's doing and what she does? Over and over and over. And Heather goes, I do. I see it. But we all give each other grace. Whitney is now like hugging Angie from the back. And Angie's like, is this what friends fucking do? And Heather goes, no, but they've been through a lot together. You know? And Angie's like, I love you guys. I even kind of like Brittany. And Brittany goes, I love that everybody, like Bronwyn's like, Brittany's hair, even though her hair's better now. Like everybody just shoots the worst shit over at Brittany. And Brittany always like gets a kick out of it. She's like, that's crazy. That's so funny. Angie goes, what I am angry and hurt about is that she's with and thinks she's going to make me afraid. And I'm not afraid of her. Heather goes, you shouldn't be. And then Brittany goes, oh my gosh, Jared has called me like 4 times and texted me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. I'm going to call him. Are you guys okay with that? When you got a hot chick, when you got a fish, you got to hook him. Jared is wanting something. And when he goes, no, I don't want to talk to Jared. Don't call him. Everybody's like, don't call him. Heather goes, you're pissed, man. He went behind your back. And then Jared's like, hey. And Bronwyn grabs the phone and is like, do you pay Brittany's bills? Quick question. And Jared goes, I have helped her from time to time. And then Heather goes, she's always repaid you, and does the blowjob motion. So, great. Good stuff. And Brittany's like, stop it, Heather, with your blowjob motion. And then Whitney does it. Bad weather. This is my blowjob motion. And then Bronwyn goes, Jared, she's giving you up for Lent. Call her in May. Bye. And then grabs the phone from Brittany and hangs up. See you. It was nice knowing you. And Heather's like, oh my God, Bronwyn. Everybody's like, oh my God. Oh my God. And Bronwyn goes, for somebody who's been accused of being a gold digger, she can level her shit up. Yes. And then we cut back to the beginning of the episode when Whitney was singing, and Whitney is singing again. The drama, but cheers, let's have some wine. Some friends up quick, tears through facelifts, but there's always next time. Cheers. And then everybody, the remaining ladies, are like, to Whitney, to Whitney. And then we hear one final squawk from the birds. Next time on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And we have Heather saying, I have spoken with Captain Jason from Below Deck Down Under and arranged to charter his super yacht. And that's his actual not a euphemism for his penis. And then we have a scene with Bronwyn and the Todd father. And Bronwyn's like, you know how I feel about when people misunderstand me. I shouldn't have to feel misunderstood with you, too. And Todd's just like, rrr, 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 rrr. And then Heather talking to Meredith is saying, I don't want to be in a friendship with Lisa where I have to watch my back. And then Heather in a scene with Lisa, and Heather telling Lisa, there's a reason why no one rides hard for you. You're a risky fucking friend. And then Mary talking to Angie, Mary saying, you're supposed to be my sister. And Angie goes, I am your sister. And Mary's like, no, you're not. Find another one, okay? What an episode, you guys. That episode has my heart. It's really good to love things, right? Because it's so easy to hate things. But when you love something, you got to catch it. You got to take hold of it and just ride that thing. until it doesn't make you happy anymore. But it really makes me happy. Now, this was Salt Lake City news. I meant to say earlier, but Brittany Bateman, you guys, this is so exciting. Anybody that lives in the New York area, Brittany announced this week a one-woman show, December 5th in New York City, 9:30 p.m. It says it's called What About Me? An Evening with Brittany Bateman at 54 Below, which is actually a pretty nice space, but it's like, Countess Luann's performed there a bunch of times. And remember, Brittany does have musical theater training. She really is a professional. I would kill to go to this. Honestly, I would love. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it out, but my God, if any of Brittany's people are listening, I would love to cover it, and I would be respectful. And I love theater, and I would love to see her doing what she does best. But anyways, you guys, thanks for being here. I hope we had some fun. That was sure fun for me. Come back on Friday for OC in Miami. We'll talk about that, plus some news stories about like McBee Dynasty, all that jazz. Have a great Thursday. If you get a chance, rate this podcast 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you're watching on YouTube, hey YouTube. Hey YouTube. Bye guys.